Hello there, it's 8 p.m. in Banjul. This is GRTS News coming to you live. In our headlines tonight, President Adama Barrow joins West African leaders in Monrovia to grace 175th independence anniversary. The National Nutrition Agency and partner agencies implement the Gambia Social Safety Net project. Plus, the judge presiding over the alleged rape case involving Babukar Keita, alias Bob Keita, dismissed the defense motion on stay of execution with regards to the DNA test on the late toddler Muhammad, who mysteriously died at the heart of the case. Away from home in Sudan, security forces accused of killing at least one person while dispersing anti-coup protesters in the city of Omdurman. Details of these and other stories coming ahead in this bulletin. With me, Fatu Elika Maloshi. Many thanks for joining us. Welcome to the news. We begin this bulletin with Liberia as it celebrates its 175th independence anniversary Tuesday at a grand ceremony in the capital, Monrovia. 3 West African leaders, including the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, attended the historic celebrations as a special guest. This year's celebration also coincides with the 200th-year anniversary since modern-day Liberia was founded by freed slaves from the United States of America. As we hear in this report by
The official ceremony for the observance of the 175th independence anniversary of Liberia was held at the Centennial Memorial Pavilion in Monrovia. President His Excellency Adama Barrow was among 3 West African leaders invited as special guests to this historic event. Therefore, it was a moment of joy and pride for the country as they gathered for the ceremony under the theme, fostering unity, protecting our peace for development and prosperity. As the oldest republic in Africa, proclaiming independence in 1847, 25 years after its founding, Liberia has endured turbulent periods which nearly shook its foundations. For its leaders, these experiences are lessons that have forged Liberia to become what it is today, peaceful, united, and democratic. President John Mawaya paid tribute to the founding fathers and all Liberians for their patriotism and dedication to the country. Adding that as a people, they owe it to future generations to build a much more prosperous country, which every Liberian will be proud to call home.
As a leader, I ask you to join me to build our dear country. It does not matter who you are or your status in life. It does not matter what political ideology you aspire to, or your ethnic background, religious persuasion, social class, or academic standard. We have a patriotic duty and a sacred obligation to protect our sovereignty through good deeds, innovation, and hard work. We must unite and we must reconcile in peaceful coexistence as citizens of Liberia.
One of the most dynamic young women of Liberia was specially chosen as the national orator. Rebel Marvin Guata Diggs delivered a thought-provoking speech in which he challenged Liberians to rise above their differences to build a strong and united country.
I think of the term unity, the concepts of oneness, harmony, shared values, protection of rights, and citizen participation quickly come to mind. You see, there is a fundamental responsibility that comes with being citizens of this great nation. Therefore, unity must be entrusted to every Liberian and treated as the national fabric on which we gather as a collective, irrespective of our differences. It would be extremely naive of me to expect that we will all think or act the same, but we must be able to work as one in the interests of Liberia.
As one of the special guests, His Excellency the President Adama Barrow also delivered an insightful speech calling for peace and unity amongst Liberians to enhance sustainable development and democracy.
These are times when Africa is looking inward to maximize the use of our human and material resources for peace, development, prosperity, and better quality of life for our people. To achieve this, the need for cooperation and progress is obviously most urgent. Thus, as we call for unity and African integration, we must give priority to sustaining peace in the sub-region and the entire continent. Further to this, we must use our resources more wisely and effectively for much faster development, better social services, and greater empowerment of our youth and women for self-reliance. Certainly, we will not attain this in the absence of peace, unity, and stability.
During the ceremony, several prominent Liberians were conferred awards for distinguished service to the nation. This year's independence celebration is unique, for it coincides with the 200-year anniversary of Liberia. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, and delegation left Monrovia Tuesday evening after the end of the festivities. Maudou Diallo, GRTS News.
Meanwhile, the Vice President, His Excellency Aliou Badara Diouf, has described the Africa-India Summit as a crucial step for development cooperation, maximizing trade and education opportunities between Delhi and Banjul. As the Gambia maintains a strong development partner, the recent delegation to India has paved the way for new opportunities that will enhance growth and development, one of which is the provision of over 20 full scholarships. Let's take a listen.
The Indian government has opened up a global line of credit, and the Gambia qualifies for that credit given the concessionary terms, that are in compliance with, what the IMF has said for us. And the global line of credit is about 200 million. And for that, we can access to address some of the challenges that we face in the health sector. So the minister will go into the details. Some of the challenges that we have on e-governance, again, the minister will give you the details. On energy, which basically would center around the water situation in the greater Banjul area, in the urban area, plus the lighting of the eastern part of the country, following the eastern grid. On infrastructure, it will be on roads and also the construction of some government offices in order to remove ministries that are renting, to save government a lot of money which we are paying out, because of rent of that these ministries and also their satellite institutions are incurring. So in the medium to the long term, it will be to make sure that all ministries and satellite institutions occupy government places rather than rent. That will save us a lot of money. The other thing is that the Minister of Finance also would go into details as to the way we access this line of credit. One condition, though, is that we have to have well-costed, bankable projects that we would present to them for approval, and it doesn't need approval at a higher level. It will be approval at the Joint Secretaries level. That was what we were told. Alongside that, in acknowledgement of the President's priority attention given to education, he has been awarded, paid the honorary causa in humanities, and also given the key to the university, the Integral University of India. And we salute the President for that kind of achievement. We were also given 35 scholarships, 15 of which are PhDs, 10 masters, and 10 bachelors in engineering, particularly science, technology, except for medicine. But pharmacology and pharmacy is,
The Vice President, His Excellency Aliou Badara Diouf there on the Africa-India Summit. Now, the National Nutrition Agency, the Directorate of Social Welfare, and the Department of Community Development are currently implementing the Gambia Social Safety Net project, which is jointly funded by the World Bank and the Government of the Gambia. The project aims to improve the coordination of social assistance activities and increase the inclusion of the extremely poor in the 20 poorest districts of the Gambia. Baji has the rest of the story.
The NAFA cash transfer project has ultimately reached beneficiaries who have underwent a long wait as officials complete the vital process of enrollment and registration. Implementing partners have started the cash distribution to beneficiary communities across all regions in the country. 430 beneficiary households are registered in Fonyi Berefet. According to their proximity, beneficiaries converge at a pay point in the community of Bese Fonyi Berefet to receive the cash reimbursement. Each household will receive a bi-monthly payment of $3,000, which will go on for 18 months, something beneficiaries hailed as a major relief.
Alhamdulillah, kontanta bakale. Di nganyung kodo muta balwobe kolyar mbanko kanne.
We are very happy to receive this money as things are very challenging. Anyone who receives this money will be very happy.
A similar process was conducted in Sangajor, Fonyi Kansala, where the project is set to benefit 292 low-income earners drawn from 38 villages. Beneficiaries converge to receive their payments.
They are helping us, the farmers, as farming is our only source of income. I didn't go to the farm because of this program. We have been here since 7 a.m.
I thank the Gambia government. We have realized great progress in this project, as it did not stop at only the financial benefits. We mobilized groups within us to settle disputes within the community. We thank the World Bank and Community Development.
Oto mbe ala tentula bak nafa program wala ani World Bank ani Community Development.
Every single process in the cash transfer is taken with steps to ensure accountability and transparency. Now that the cash is in the hands of the beneficiaries, implementing partners urge recipients to make best use of the support.
We will advise them that once they receive the money, please let them use it for the household. I said that in the SBC session and everybody repeated. We cannot use this money to go and buy asobi or we have gente somewhere, we use the money and go there. It's meant for the household. The advice is, and it's part of our program design, that let them use the money at the level of the household.
Project wants the women to be the principal recipients of these monies, because that's the reason. Most of the time, men are always busy. So these women, when they come to receive these monies, they will be engaged into an SBCC session, where they will be taught on different topics like parenting and child protection, maternal and child health nutrition. All those topics are delivered to them, so that this will help them know how to take care of their families.
This is the biggest cash transfer in the Gambia, with the World Bank pumping in $30 million to support low-income earners across the country. This bi-monthly cash transfer of $3,000, alongside a behavioral change program, set to cover over 15,000 low-income earning households for 18 months, is a massive booster for local households, supporting the grassroots with a vital stimulus in a deepening global crisis. Farmer Abaji, GRTS News.
Well, now to some legal matters, and we head to the High Court in Banjul, where the judge presiding over the alleged rape case involving Babukar Keita, alias Bob Keita, has dismissed the defense motion on stay of execution with regards to the DNA test on the late toddler, Muhammad, who mysteriously died at the heart of the case. Defense lawyer representing Babukar Keita, Barrister Lamin L.S. Kamara, on the 18th July, filed a motion before the court, urging the court to disregard the motion dated 7 July, filed by the state prosecutors for DNA test on the late baby Muhammad. The defense team, led by lawyer Kamara, further filed an injunction We apologize for that shortcut, but the defense team, led by lawyer Kamara, further filed an injunction before the Gambia Court of Appeal, seeking for stay of execution pending the outcome of the appeal before the Court of Appeal. After going through the arguments and citation made by both the prosecution and the defense, Justice Jallo dismissed the defense motion, urging the state to expedite a second DNA test on the late baby Muhammad. Immediately after handing down his verdict, the defense applied for a copy of the ruling in order to appeal against the ruling. The case was adjourned to 5th October 2022 for continuation of hearings. The 29-year-old young entrepreneur is being tried on a single charge for raping an underage girl in 2019. Mr. Keita, however, denied any wrongdoing, and since then he has been placed under detention at the state prison in Mile 2. Away from that, strengthening efforts to finance higher education in the Gambia. The officials of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology on Monday converged for a sectoral retreat on the development strategy for funding higher education. The convergence attracted various stakeholders in the education sector. The Minister of Higher Education, Professor Per Gomez, expounded on the ministry's plans to expand the technical and vocational education system across the country. Take a listen.
Chairs and tables donated to St. Teresa's Lower Basic School, according to officials of Nova Scotia Gambia Association, come on the back.
Now, Nova Scotia Gambia Association, in collaboration with development partners on Wednesday, presented furniture to St. Teresa's Lower Basic School. The gesture, as Kadiyatu Jallo reports, is meant to improve teaching and learning.
And tables donated to St. Teresa's Lower Basic School, according to officials of Nova Scotia Gambia Association, come on the backdrop of a need assessment conducted in the school, resulting to this developmental support.
We used to have what we call the Law for Gambia Run. We have Canadians who will come around and run the entire length of this country from Koina up to Banjul to raise funds for PHU at programs, that's the peer education programs. And so it was in one of those runs that one of the participants called Luke McDonald came across a nursery school somewhere in North Bank and realized that this school was lacking in infrastructure, like the toilets were dilapidated and not enough. And he thought that to have conducive learning, we have to get these things fixed. So that's where he started from.
The school management, board chair, and students all hail Nova Scotia Gambia Association for the gesture and the long-standing partnership with the education sector. The donation they highlighted will in no small measure address some of the challenges in the school.
On behalf of my regional director, I want to say thank you very much. Learner welfare and school environment is a key component of school improvement. And it has a direct bearing on curriculum management. And this furniture or the gift that we are receiving today will go a long way in boosting the furniture situation in the school.
This is the type of gesture we are hearing from Good Samaritans in order to complement the effort of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. On behalf of the SMC, parents and teachers of the school, I extend my profound gratitude to the NSGA for their laudable gesture.
We want those who are hearing and seeing, please come forward and help the school. The school is your school. It's our school. It's not the Catholic education. It belongs to the Gambian children. So anybody who can give even one furniture, one, it's a lot. So on that note, Mr. Kujabi asked me to extend his sincere gratitude and thanks to Nova Scotia, the Gambia, and your partners.
This donation is the latest intervention by the humanitarian body in their quest to ensure the children of the Gambia are provided with quality education in a conducive environment. Khadijatu Jallow, reporting for GRTS News.
There by Nova Scotia. And now, off to a press release, and it reads, the public, especially the business community and procuring organizations, are hereby informed to kindly take note of the following. All procurement submissions for request for approval shall be reviewed by a committee and henceforth will be officially stamped and signed solely by either of the following directors: Director Compliance and Procurement Practices, and Director Procurement Policy and Operation. Any approval not signed and stamped by a director should be considered invalid and not honored by the authority, and by extension should not be honored by the procuring organization. Furthermore, the procuring organization are henceforth urged to report any evidence of inconsistency contradictory to this press release. Management continues to seek your support in ensuring that procurement processes in the public sector are open, fair, and transparent, and that they deliver best value for money. The release ends. Well, moving on, 16th of July is a day set aside by the world to celebrate the Day of the African Child. The auspicious occasion is celebrated at a much larger scope by bringing partners from all over the world on a coveted mission of protecting the rights of children. In the Gambia, the Action Aid International and its partners joined the rest of the world to celebrate the day. Celebrations were held in the Opanyomi community of Jufure. Our correspondent in the region, Farmer Kanye, was at the event and he prepared this report.
International, the Gambia and its development partners joined the rest of the world to commemorate the Day of the African Child, with this year's theme to eliminate harmful practices that are affecting children. The event brought together school children and parents from across the Opanyomi district. Speaking at this ceremony, Sekou Esba, the local rights project coordinator for Action Aid in the Opanyomi district, disclosed the significance of the day as a reassurance for children across Africa and the wider world over the protection of their rights and dignity.
This is the day that guardians and parents and teachers and everyone that is responsible for the child welfare will stand strong to make sure that he promotes and protects children's rights. It is very important that we know a day when children are celebrating a day like today, we should see them as human beings, just like any other human being. It is important for children to get their dignity like human beings, as everyone enjoys the liberty of being a human being.
As part of events marking celebrations, the day is also a moment set aside to review the gains and shortfalls registered by countries, particularly in Africa and the world at large.
In the Gambia, government and its partners like Action Aid are committed to be ending corporal punishment, especially in schools and in homes, and any other forms of violence against children that is directed to children. They want to end trafficking of children. They want to end sexual trafficking of children. They also want to end child prostitution. They want to end hard labor on children, early marriage or forced marriage, and also sexual exploitation. These are all hazardous practices that are directed to children. And the government of the Gambia and partners like Action Aid and other organizations are standing very firm to make sure that these practices are eliminated thoroughly or in totality.
The event attracted cultural displays and performances by school children, and it is a historic moment for caregivers, parents, children, and policymakers across all countries in the world. For the news, I am Famara Kani.
Well, time now to take our first break. When we return, we'll look at news from beyond our borders. To stay.
Hello, Sister Nya here, and today we are doing the unboxing of the AfriCell 4G LTE CPE router. Have you gotten yours yet? Here it is. Alright, now let's do the unboxing of the AfriCell 4G CPE router. I do love the sound of opening new stuff. And this right here is a beauty. What you don't know is it also takes you for an extra 6 hours of charge when there's no power. No power, no problem. Get your CPE routers now at your nearest AfriCell outlet and thank me later.
Welcome back. Let's now go to Sudan, where security forces have killed at least one person while dispersing anti-coup protesters in the city of Omdurman. According to a statement by the Central Committee of Sudanese Doctors, the protester died after he was hit by a live bullet in the face. The group adds that so far 116 civilians have been killed in protests against a military coup. Pro-democracy activists have been organizing protests against the military since October 2021. Mediation efforts led by the UN mission in Sudan to end the political crisis in the country have so far failed. For more update on that, we are now joined by CGTN.
Calmer than yesterday. Yesterday there were two protests, one in Omdurman where the 16-year-old boy was killed, and another one in Khartoum where Freedom and Change Forces Alliance called for and protested in Bashdar station, which is one of the many stations for the protesters. There was violence against the protesters in both cities. Tear gas was fired, live ammunition was fired also in Omdurman, and the 16-year-old boy was killed. And today there is escalation in Omdurman and more protests are expected to take place, but till now there is no announced or scheduled protest, but it's expected to be demonstrations reacting to the killing of the 16-year-old boy and also reacting to the paralyzed situation in the country. Tirina, nothing changed since the military announced the stop of the talks or its withdrawal from the UN-sponsored talks. And then we saw also some rebel groups announce also their withdrawal from the talks. Then the situation was paralyzed, totally paralyzed. The political scene is more complicated than before, and nothing is happening in the mediation efforts. There is no efforts held by anyone, not by UN or the AU trilateral mechanism. So right now the situation is totally paralyzed, no mediation, and of course we are expecting some efforts from the African Union and the UN to put people again on the tables, but right now all of the political scene is totally paralyzed, and also the economic situation with security situation. The whole country is at the brink of a collapse. So right now nothing is happening, only escalation from both sides, and as we saw, the situation is more fragile than before.
Not too long ago, coal was relegated to the past by more developed economies, but the situation in Ukraine has European nations scrambling for alternatives to Russian energy. South African coal producers are ready to fill the void. Details in this CGTN report.
South Africa is the world's 8th largest producer of coal and the 5th largest exporter. Since joining BRICS in 2010, most of South Africa's coal exports have been destined for the global south, heading to countries in Latin America and Asia. But European countries are now scrambling for energy security. While most Western nations made great strides in moving away from fossil fuels, the sanctions on Russia are forcing them to go back to coal.
You look at the massive increase in exports to Europe. It's already happened in the last several months. So, as a result of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, there's been an increased demand for coal from South Africa by Europe.
Between January and May of this year, South African coal exports to Europe jumped roughly 40%. Europe demands high-quality coal for its power stations, while South Africa's coal power plants are designed to use low-quality coal. The unit price of coal per ton has increased 5 times in the last several months, but it's a double-edged sword for South Africa.
The coal price is going to go up, and that's going to also push up electricity prices within South Africa. So as the international demand for South African coal goes up, which is temporary, that is going to push up the prices.
The world is attempting to move away from coal, but the Eastern European conflict has dealt climate efforts a bitter blow as countries take up fossil fuels again to ensure energy security.
We have a very, 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 very long history of coal exports to Europe. Before '94, our biggest market.
South Africa is in a tough position. The country is currently trying to secure financing for its energy transition away from fossil fuels, but it also has an opportunity to ramp up coal supply in order to meet this high demand.
Coal is life, and coal is death. It is a double-edged sword. For many decades and centuries, it has put bread on the table. It has fueled the South African economy. It has brought foreign exchange through exports. If we decide to stick with coal, we are very quickly going to become an economic pariah. We are not going to be able to export, and we're not going to be able to access finance.
The next steps will be crucial. Sumitra Nadu, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.
We now head to the Central Forecast Office for the day's weather report. Well, that was all in this bulletin, but before we let go of you, a quick look at our top stories. President Adama Barrow has joined West African leaders in Monrovia to grace the 175th independence anniversary. The National Nutrition Agency and partners have been implementing the Gambia Social Safety Net project. Plus, the judge presiding over the alleged rape case involving Babukar Keita, alias Bob Keita, has dismissed the defense motion on stay of execution with regards to the DNA test on the late toddler Mohammed, who mysteriously died at the heart of the case. Away from home in Sudan, security forces have been accused of killing at least one person while dispersing anti-coup protesters in the city of Omdurman. Pleasure of your company. I'll be back again at 2200 hours for more. Enjoy the rest of our programs.